We're back. One of my head's cropped. I don't think so. So, Ramadan day 2 for us here in our little slice of heaven down here. Now, my thought today, or what I want to go through was, I was thinking about Ramadan start dates for 2024. So, we, along with Saudi Arabia, Saudiya, as they would say, Iraq, Syria, Egypt, followed along to start fasting yesterday on Monday. Jordan did not start fasting they only started fasting today, not yesterday. And Oman is also starting today as well. The majority of the world started fasting today. Large array of countries did. Uh, Now, what kind of like does my head kind of makes it spin a bit weird was technically the new year. Oh, well, no, that makes sense. Well, no, it doesn't actually. It's like a lunar calendar. My thought, Australia, New Zealand, all these countries, they're technically like a day ahead of us. So if someone can explain to me why they fast one day after us, shouldn't they start fasting like one day before us, Sunday? Uh, so that's like I don't really get that. Someone can leave a comment and just like explain why that is the case. I mean, they're technically in the future. Well, not really in the future, but ahead of us, or they are one day ahead when the sun rises, I guess. Now, it seems like every year when Ramadan does rock round, that there's always seeming to be like the drama of like who's starting what day, like are we starting today, are we starting tomorrow? And then there's like it kind of goes through these phases of debate. So the first day, oh yeah, we're gonna go see the moon. Who saw the moon? No one saw the moon. Okay, yeah, this guy saw the moon. As soon as a country sights the moon, every other country says, yeah, good, we have Ramadan, we're starting as well. They saw the moon, we probably also saw the moon. And then there's always some guy who comes out and like makes this video and is like, well, technically it was so cloudy and it was so impossible to see the moon. Like, man, I don't know. It seemed like the yearly drama from the day I was, from when I was born and probably way before that. And there is like good evidence of that, which I'll get into in a second. But it just seems to be like every year there's more and more like kind of debate and discussion about like how it's almost impossible for someone to see the moon, but they somehow miraculously manage to see it. I don't know. I think it's like it seems a bit like conspiracy to me, honestly. Like it seems a bit like conspiracy, like foil hatty. Like, what does someone benefit of starting Ramadan one day early when when they say it? Like, you know, apart from like saying, "Oh, we started on." Yeah, like I don't get the value of someone trying to start it one day earlier. Like it doesn't make any difference. Like I can definitely see someone, at the very end when someone's a bit tired, like, oh, I definitely saw the moon, bro. Yeah, definitely saw the moon. When you're fasted 28 days. But like first day, I don't know. I think it's like it's a bit much. Unless there's like something I'm missing here. Possibly. We have New Zealand, which is, starting Ramadan on Wednesday. Yeah. You know, it's one of those days, bro. Like, where- like, oh my god, dude, we're gonna have day 3 of fasting. We're gonna have day 3 of fasting. New Zealand right on day 1. You know who you are out there. You know who I'm talking to. Yeah, you. Yeah, you. You know who I'm talking to. Day 3. Oh man, that's actually great. I really like. We're gonna finish Eid. Like they might not even catch Eid with us. Maybe they'll catch like Adha, and we'll be starting Adha, and they'll be starting Fitr, bro. Like I don't know. Like that's a Ramadan joke, by the way. Those who didn't get the reference, be more Muslim. Uh, but yeah, like again, New Zealand doing its own thing since way back. I actually remember one one time for Ramadan. I don't know. It must have been like 15, 20 years ago now. But I remember we went to sleep, and this was like 10, 11 p.m. So I wasn't sleeping like that early. Like it wasn't like, oh, 6 p.m. where a decision could be made. We went to sleep for suhoor. I woke up for suhoor. I had it, and my mom was like, "Oh, my mom woke up to pray and everything." And she's telling me like, "Hey, why are you awake? Like, it's forgot to tell you guys. Like, they decided at like 12 a.m. or something that tomorrow's Eid." And I know like you're not supposed to decide that late, but 100%, this is exactly how it went down. Everyone woke up, was so confused, and I was like, "Yeah, Eid, woo!" So yeah, it does happen in New Zealand. Anything's possible. Anything is possible. What a great nation. Now, in terms of like Ramadan dramas, or dramas that have, usually kind of go round. Back to our good friend Ibn Arabi, he has a nice little section in his writings where it is about the traditions of sighting the moon. So I'm going to read the kind of section here, and then we can kind of go through together. So the tradition which is the cause of disagreement was already mentioned. Muslims transmitted from Ibn Umar that the Messenger of God mentioned Ramadan and struck his hand, saying, "The month is like that." And he closed his fingers 3 times. Fast it by sighting and break the fast by sighting. When it is cloudy, then count 30 days. It is also related from a tradition of Ibn Umar that the Prophet said, "We are an unlettered nation. We do not write or calculate. The month is like that." And he closed his fingers, and the month is like that, and like that. That is making a full 30. The second tradition removes the doubt. The tradition count can be applied to narrowing the beginning of the fast Ramadan from the day of doubt. It can be applied to the reckoning by principle of the course of the moon. The latter is my view. So it seems like even thousands of years ago, the people have been discussing the start and completion of Ramadan. It seems to be going way past me and my 15 years of living in New Zealand, or 25 years of living in New Zealand. Uh, and the section here, which like kind of jumps out at me, was where he says, "We are an unlettered nation. We do not write or calculate." Now, when Ibn Arabi says that, it really shows like some really, really big, foresight onto something where it's like they knew how to calculate, or it shows that they knew how to calculate when new moons and moons were being born and stuff like that. But I think it was by the tradition that you see the moon. Now, seeing the moon by eye, a lot of people view it by like telescopes and stuff like that. And I believe they all believe I think that is very much so permissible. Now, no one says it is permissible by calculation to say this is the start of Ramadan. And I think they just tell you, well, if it's either 29 days, you don't see it, do 30 days. Or if it's not, you don't start the day, you don't see it today, you start tomorrow. That's it. Or, yeah, basically. Or, no, sorry, you don't see it today, you start after tomorrow. Yes. So, you know, it's seeming to be like the age old issue of Ramadan. Like, when do we start? How do we calculate it? Did you see the moon? Did you not see the moon? Is he, Fugazi seeing the moon? Who knows? It does seem like it does seem like a bit of an arch for me to say that, hey, yeah, I saw the moon and, you know, it was some big conspiracy. 'Cause I remember the same thing happened. Uh, this is maybe now when I was in university. I remember one of my friends there. He was standing on top of this mountain, or not a mountain, I would say a giant hill. And he was arguing with the guy on the phone from like the Islamic Association, saying that, hey, yeah, like I'm definitely seeing the moon. I have it in front of me. I can see it. And the guy was like, no, it's too cloudy. You can't see the moon. And there's always debates. I remember there's this one guy who used to tell me like, yeah, well, it's actually completely impossible that he saw the moon. And it was the same thing I said before, like, you know, I wouldn't know, like, I couldn't tell you, like, I'm no expert on like on any of this on any of these matters, to be honest. Like, it's a bit past me, and I don't really care. I don't think it makes that much difference to my life whether I start fasting today and tomorrow. I think it does kind of screw up countries being in sync. Uh, if one country, like, imagine your next door neighboring country was uh was not fasting, you know, like Oman and Dubai, for example, they're like 4 or 5 hours drive between each other, and two different time zones for fasting. So I do think, like, especially when the Eid holidays come by, maybe that adds some difficulty there. But they didn't see the moon. They didn't see the moon. Like, that's just the way the cookie crumbles, really. Also, I want to know, like, is there like a limitation of distance? Like, if I see the moon, like, does every area have to see the moon? Does every country have to see the moon, or can I just kind of like generally see the moon for like a 2,000 kilometer radius? These are the questions we need answered. This is why we need an expert on here. Anyone know anybody? Bring them down here. Let's get these answers out. Okay. In the meantime, do the right thing, be better people. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.